Okay, now I am sharing my PPT. You just see. So these points are very important to discuss any test. Today we'll see measurement of dielectric loss tangent by shearing bridge. Can you see PPT?
Yes, ma'am.
Students, can you see PPT?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so points to be remembered, we have discussed in earlier test that we must know the objectives of the test. Now today's test is for measurement of dielectric loss tangent. So name only implies that you want to measure tan delta, and tan delta is known as loss factor. And as it is known as loss factor, definitely it will indicate what is the dielectric loss of the material. Suppose you are finding tan delta of transformer oil. Suppose liquid you are finding. So what dielectric loss will take place in the transformer oil? So by finding tan delta, you will get indications of the dielectric loss in the oil. So that is the objective of the test. Why it is necessary to find out tan delta? Because now you will go in market and you will purchase the transformer oil. Now you know how to find out breakdown voltage of the transformer oil. So if it is suiting your transformer rating, suppose transformer rating in our lab is 80 kilovolt, and you will find out the breakdown voltage of the transformer oil for 1 centimeter. If it is withstanding 80 kilovolt, then only you will pour that liquid in the transformer oil. So you will check dielectric purchasing, and if it finds suitable to use it in your transformer, then only you will pour it. Okay, but by finding your dielectric strength of transformer oil is not only sufficient, because it may withstand your voltage. Operating voltage is 80 kilovolt. It may withstand 80 kilovolt. But if loss occurring in the transformer oil is very high, then it will cost you, because your power loss will be very high. So electricity bill will be very large. So again, if you want to test transformer oil, you have to find out dielectric loss also. So how you'll find out dielectric loss? So find out tan delta, and tan delta, if you'll get it, you can find out dielectric loss. So that is the objective of this test. Whether the equipment, whatever, not equipment, material, whether it is transformer oil or whether it is any insulating material, what is the dielectric loss in that? Suppose capacitor you are using. So what is the dielectric loss in the capacitor material? You will find out, and then only that material you will use at a dielectric material. Okay, so to find out dielectric loss means whether that dielectric material will behave properly or not. That will be the objective of the test. Then test specifications we will see. This experiment we will not perform in our lab because we don't have shearing bridge, high voltage shearing bridge. Okay. So this experiment will not be performed, but earlier 3 tests will perform it. But definitely we will try to see it in virtual lab if it is available. So equipments required will be for shearing bridge. We will discuss it. Connection diagram we will discuss. Then description of circuit components we will discuss. Then formula for loss angle we will discuss. Then procedure, observation table, calculations and conclusions. So let us start one point by another. So first try to understand what is dielectric loss. I had told you in brief. Now let us try to understand in depth. So if you will consider any capacitor, okay, consider any capacitor, and if capacitor you will consider, you know that capacitor will not be perfect, because if that capacitance you will take it, it will never have only capacitance Xc. You know, Xc is the capacitive reactance, because that condition exists in ideal conditions. Capacitor is having only Xc, capacitive reactance, which you have studied in first year. That is idealistic conditions, means it is perfect capacitor. That will exist, but that is very hard to have the capacitance which is pure capacitor, means it is having only capacitance. But in nature, in practice, if you will see capacitor, it will definitely have some resistance, because capacitor will have resistance. What is capacitor? You know, now we have studied dielectric material in the capacitor. So various dielectric materials are there. Air is there, mica is there, paper is there, oil is there, and definitely that paper, air, oil will have some resistance. So capacitor will be represented like resistance, and this capacitance will be Xc. So if capacitor will have some resistance, then definitely when you will see current passing through the capacitor is suppose I. Okay, capacitor current is suppose I. Now what will be I? You know, if voltage across the capacitance is V, you have studied, if you will plot V, you have studied that capacitor current will always lead the voltage by 90 degree. So this is what you have studied. If this is the voltage V, capacitive current through the capacitor will always lead the voltage by 90 degree. So see, if this is I, current passing through the capacitor, and if this is the voltage across the capacitor, what is the relationship between voltage across the capacitor and current passing through it? If it is perfect capacitor, it has to lead the voltage by 90 degree. But in actual case, situation is this. So current through the capacitor will split into the two parameters. So capacitive current will divide into two parts. So IC, which will perfectly flow through the capacitive reactance, and IR. So here if you'll see, now this phasor diagram is idealistic condition. Now what is actual? If you will plot, suppose V is here, V is not shown in this diagram. So I have plotted V as usual. Now where will be current passing through the resistance IR? Current passing through the resistance IR will in phase with voltage. So you have studied power factor is 1, means cos phi is 1. If cos phi is 1, angle is 0. So whenever resistance you will see, resistance has unity power factor, means cos phi is 1, means phi is 0. So if this is the voltage across the capacitor, current passing through the resistive component of the capacitor will in phase with voltage. Now where will be this IC current passing through the capacitive reactance? Now this IC will lead the voltage by exactly 90 degrees. So IC will lead this by exactly 90 degree. And now what is the current through the capacitance? Current through the capacitor, you can say now IC plus IR. So now current through the capacitor I is equal to IC plus IR. Okay, so now this IC, I is equal to this I is equal to IC plus IR. Now I had to find out I. Where is my IC? IC is here. Where is my IR? IR is here. So I have shown it small. So here it can be IR. Okay. Now I have to find out current. So IC plus IR. So how you are finding vector additions? By parallelogram method. So IC you will just extend and this point you will extend and this will be the current through the capacitor I. Okay. Now see, current through the capacitor will not lead the voltage by 90 degree, but it will fall to lead voltage 90 degree by an angle delta. So this delta is known as loss angle. Delta is known as loss angle. Okay, delta is known as loss angle. So what will be the tan delta? Now see, tan delta is equal to, you know, tan delta, sin delta, cos delta. So here tan delta will be equal to I upon IC. You find out this tan delta. What is this? It is IR and this is IC. So IR upon IC. So this we'll see it. I am giving you home exercise to find out what will be XC. XC, you know, you have studied. You know that resistance, you know impedance Z. So here what will be the impedance Z? Just go through it. That will be homework for you. Then we will see whether you are getting it or no. So now this delta is loss angle, means delta is the angle by which current through the capacitor means to lead the voltage by 90 degree, and this angle delta will be very small. It's very small. Even if it is shown very large, it will be in practice, it will be very small. So current through the capacitor I will not lead the voltage across the capacitor by 90 degree, but it will fail to lead 90 degree by a small angle. That small angle is known as loss angle, and tan delta is known as loss factor, dissipation factor. So because of the resistance of the capacitor. Okay, so that you have to understand what is the loss factor. Now how you will define loss tangent? So here the fraction of the maximum energy lost by each cycle divided by 2 pi is termed as the loss factor, and its value is given by tan delta, because we have seen tan delta is equal to 1 upon omega c r. Omega c means you know that instead of twice pi here it is omega is used. So twice pi fc. Twice pi fc means you know what is xc, and that is r. So it is 1 upon omega CR, tan delta is equal to. So the fraction of the maximum energy lost by each cycle divided by 2 pi is termed the loss factor, and its value is given by tan delta. And whenever a dielectric material, if you see, whenever a dielectric material is subjected to an AC voltage, the leakage current I does not lead to applied voltage V by exactly 90 degree. So what is mean by leakage current? Suppose now if this is a capacitor, okay, suppose this is a capacitor and we are applying voltage across the capacitor. Try to understand the significance of the dielectric loss. Now I have given voltage across the capacitor. So why it is said as leakage current? Because we are saying capacitor is having dielectric material, means insulating material. So no current flow through this. Whenever I will apply some voltage, no current flow through the capacitor. So it is idealistic condition. Again idealistic condition. Because no insulating material in nature is a perfect insulating material. This is insulating material means it should not allow current to flow. But always leakage current will flow through this. So leakage current is represented by I0. So whatever current will flow, that will be very small in microampere or milliampere. So it is called as leakage current. Now what is written here? Whenever a dielectric material is subjected to an AC voltage, the leakage current I does not lead to applied voltage V by exactly 90 degree. So here we have not represented I0. We have represented here I. We are represented here I. So let us consider this is leakage current is I. Now why that leakage current is there? Because of insulator is not perfect. So small current is there. And this relationship between voltage and current is not 90 degree, because this is not pure capacitor, but it has small resistance R. Now why energy loss occurs? Because you know whenever current flows through any material, then I square R loss is taking place, I square R. So this is having resistance. As it is having resistance, whatever leakage current is flowing, I square R loss will be power loss, dielectric loss. And now why that dielectric loss will take place, that also we will discuss what is existing in the material. But when we'll perform, we will just try to understand that what is happening in the material. At that time I will tell you why this dielectric loss occurs. Okay. So where you need to understand polarization, you need to understand orientation. At that time I will tell you. Now just remember dielectric loss will take place due to the resistance of the capacitor, and this dielectric loss we have to measure, and that tan delta we have to measure, because tan delta if we'll measure, power loss we can measure. So now what is the objectives of the test? The purpose of this test is to find out the dissipation factor or tan delta of dielectric materials. Now its value can give idea of dielectric loss occurring in the capacitor dielectric material. So already I told you, by finding dielectric loss tan delta, we can get idea how is insulating material, whether it is good or whether it is to purchase or not to purchase, accept or reject. And if that dielectric material, once it is used in our equipment, then also periodically we can remove or test it. Remove means take it outside and test it. because periodically if we will not check dielectric loss, then day by day, due to the aging and due to its use, dielectric loss may go on taking place very large, means our tan delta will go on becoming very large, and day will come, it will immediately flash over. Breakdown will take place because if dielectric loss is more, heat produced in the material will be more, and due to the heating, material will degrade, material will damage, and then a disaster, or you can say hazardous thing can happen. So we have to be careful that tan delta is within the limit. Now for measuring tan delta, we will use shearing bridge. So this is the scientist name, shearing bridge. And I think you have studied bridge, or I don't know, but by using bridge, we can measure different components. So what is bridge? So bridge will have 4 arms. One arm, first arm, this is first arm, this is second arm, and this is third arm, and this is fourth arm. So this is called as bridge. And if you want to measure any component, suppose resistance, capacitance, inductors, there are number of bridges you will consider in measurement. To measure resistance, Wheatstone's bridge is used. To find out inductance, you can another bridge, Campbell's bridge you can use. So if to measure tan delta or capacitance, you can use shearing bridge. So number of bridges are there for finding different components. So bridge will have 4 arms, and detector is used in the central arm. So you can see here, this is the central arm. So this is first, second, third, and detector is used, and this detector will give you the indication that bridge is balanced. So number of detectors are used. Telephone, headphone is used. Some this galvanometer is used. So by detector indication, you can find out bridge is balanced. So what is the principle of the bridge? Principle of the bridge means it has 4 arms. So when balance condition is occurred, so if balance condition is occurred, there will be no current passing through this detector. Okay. So voltage drop of the arm AB and voltage drop of AD will be equal. So VAD will be equal to VAB. So no voltage drop between A and C. And as there is no voltage drop, no voltage across potential A and C, means voltage across this AD will be equal to voltage across VDC. So no, these 2 voltage will be equal. This 2 voltage will be equal. So you can see, as there is no potential drop between point A and C, VAC will be 0. And as VAC will be 0, there will be no current passing through this detector. So that is called as null deflection. Null means 0. So this detector will not deflect. But if voltage is not balanced, then this indicator will show. You can say, suppose ammeter is there. If voltage is there, current will definitely flow. And some current indication means bridge is not balanced. And if current will show 0, then you can say voltage or voltage is not there. So null deflection, that is called as null deflection. So here no parameters are shown. Actually this R4 and R3 will be variable. So in the bridge, some parameters are kept variable, and you just go on varying some parameters and balance the bridge. When balance will come, you can observe with the help of detector, and you can use the condition as balance is there. VAD is equal to VAC. Then you find out what will be VAD in terms of these components. What will be VDC in terms of this component. Because you know voltage is equal to I into R. So you have to find out current passing through this. So I3 into R3 will be equal to VDC. So you put that voltages and you can find out any unknown condition. So that is any bridge. So here shearing bridge, now I will consider this. If you will see number of books, in the number of books diagrams are different. This diagram is missing with variation, so that you take care. And in problem, if problem will come, problem may come with different diagrams. So you have to be habitual with the different diagrams. These components can be placed in any arm, and if you will change the component position, your formula will change. That is why what I expect you need to work yourself first, and then we will see. Because if I will tell you this is the bridge, then you may not able to solve the problem. So you have to misunderstand the concepts. Okay, so now see unknown capacitance. Now you want to measure, suppose tan delta of this capacitor. So whatever you want to measure dielectric loss tan delta, you insert your unknown capacitor in this arm. It is known as, it is mentioned as high voltage capacitor. So generally this shearing bridge is high voltage bridge because you are measuring tan delta, means insulating material. Insulating material means you have to apply high voltage. So capacitor is called as high voltage capacitor. So this is the unknown arm where each capacitor you want to measure tan delta. So measure your unknown branch, and once you will find out tan delta, you can find out C1 also. Okay. So it can be used for measuring capacitance also. So your unknown branch will be suppose in branch 1. Now it will require some high voltage standard capacitor. Now here this will be perfect capacitor. It will not have any resistance, mind you. And to have the perfect capacitor is very costly because that is not the lossy capacitor. Idealistic condition means cost of this capacitor is very high. So we don't have shearing bridge in our lab because now number of other experiments we are able to perform. So this is just, it was in another subject and it has come from another subject to material science. Okay. So high voltage capacitor, standard capacitor you will put in this arm. And then variable resistance I show in previous diagram, you can see it is analogous to R3 here. Okay. So one variable resistance is there and variable capacitor is there. And again this you can see this is R3 and this is R4 you can see. Okay. So C3, R3 and R4. Now 4 arms will have different resistances. So capacitance and here resistance are parallel, means you can see this is also a normal capacitor, loss capacitor. This is ideal capacitor, this is capacitance under measurement, and this is another resistance here. Now what is the use of this safety gap? So safety gap is there, means it will be sphere gap. I already told you 2 spheres are used for number of applications. So here now sphere gap is used for the protection. Now when I will apply voltage, suppose this shearing bridge generally it is 5 kilovolt or maximum 10 kilovolt. Okay, so I am putting it, suppose you are giving 10 kilovolt supply. Now this is your high voltage capacitor. Now you are operating here, you are changing the resistance, means you are near to the bridge because this you are wearing, this you are wearing. And you have to find out when current will be 0 and when it will be represented by null detection. At that time you will measure the components and then you will put in formula and you will find out C1 and tan delta. Now suddenly by mistake you are finding, you are wearing here, and suddenly by mistake this capacitor will go off. You know, capacitor rupture immediately and that will go up. As soon as that will go up, where that 10 kilovolt will drop. So here now there is no capacitor. So 10 kilovolt will drop across these arms and where you are standing here. So it will be very dangerous that you will be near to 10 kilovolt. And that 10 kilovolt may and your watch or any you are suppose conducting or between your body also. So that is not desired. You should be safe. Operator must be safe. So here these safety gaps are connected, means sphere gaps are connected. So whenever this will go off, immediately breakdown of air will take place here because that gap has to adjust such a way that whenever voltage across this component will exceed than normal 230 volt or 100 volt, immediately flashover of this gap takes place and whole charge, whole high voltage charge, it will go to the earth. So here it has to be earth. Okay, so that is the use of the spark gaps. Now principle of operation of the bridge will be Z1 into Z3 will be equal to Z2 into Z4. Note down that Z1 into Z3. Which is Z1? This is Z1. Where is Z3? This is Z3. So two opposite branch impedance Z1 into Z3 will be equal to Z2 is equal to Z4. Now today you just work some thing from your own side. So work on this. What is Z1? Z1 is XC1. What is XC1? You know. Then find out what is this Z2, Z4. Z4 is R4. Then what is this? This is Z2. Z2 is equal to XC2. Put it what will be XC2? 1 upon twice by C2. You know it. Then what will be this parallel combination? Parallel combination of R3 plus X3. What is X3? 1 upon twice by C3. So find out resultant of this. And then find out Z1 into Z3 is equal to Z2 is equal to Z4. Just work it today and try to check what you are getting, whether you are getting it or no. And then if you will, this is the balance condition, and always you have to remember this formula for solving problem. Okay. Now, if you will get two opposite branch, means product of the impedances will be equal to the product of impedances of the remaining branch. So Z1 you can find out will be equal to Z2 upon Z3. This you can find out Z1. And what is Z1? Z1 is equal to Xc1. So you will find out capacitance, and that way you can find out tan deltas. So tomorrow we'll see that. By that time you will discuss it, and then I will play tomorrow one activity on that, and I will see who has understood that. So equipment required for shearing bridge is high voltage testing set. High voltage testing set means here you can see this is the just bridge I have explained. You have to apply this high voltage. So again this will be secondary side of the transformer as usual. So you will just connect a primary supply to the auto transformer, then auto transformer secondary to the primary of transformer, then secondary of transformer will be here. So don't forget that high voltage circuit. It is common for number of experiments. So high voltage testing set or 10 kilovolt supply means definitely you will require high voltage transformer whose secondary will be 10 kilovolt, or we can use 80 kilovolt transformer and we can produce 10 kilovolt. Okay. Then shearing bridge you will require all these four components. Standard capacitor you will require. So value of it can be 10 picofarad and rating is 10 kilovolt. Unknown capacitor you will require, whose tan delta you need to find out, or capacitance you need to find out. And CRO means it is used for finding whether the null detection has occurred or no, or you can just see another null detector, you can also use it. Now description of the circuit components, already I told you lossy capacitor C2 and R4, C3, R3. So these are the values of standard capacitance which is in the range, because you can see here standard capacitance C1 is used. I think it is C2. So that care you just take it, circuit parameters. Now this Wagner's earth is there. It is not actually scope of your syllabus. That is just from B, but is there, but still I want to explain you. So I kept this slide in the measurement of shearing bridge. Actually lot of concepts we have to clear, but that you will not understand. Still I am trying one parameter to explain you. When we'll apply high voltage supply to the shearing bridge, what I want to tell you, shielding concept I want to clear you, because this safety concept also I cleared you, which is expected in B. Now see, when we are giving high voltage supply here, it is secondary side of the transformer, and here primary side. Now you know why these safety gaps are there, because high voltage may come across us. Similarly, when you are considering this C2 is connected, there may be air and number of things, atmospheric conditions are this side, atmospheric conditions are these, lab equipments are there. So that is also having capacitance. You know the stray capacitance from the atmosphere. Inductance is also there. Why only capacitance? Inductance will be also there. Mutual inductance will be there. Stray capacitance will be there. So whatever value you are measuring, that is not the true value of C3, which is shown on this bridge. Whatever you are saying, I connected C2 of 100 picofarad. No, that may not be that capacitance, because here parallel capacitance are coming into the picture. Even this detector will have capacitance. You are standing here, your capacitance, body capacitance will enter into the measurement. And when you are saying bridge is balanced and my circuit parameters are that, no, then you will get wrong value, because all your body capacitance, another stray capacitance from here, all the surface or periphery of the bridge will enter. So therefore this bridge has to insert into the metallic box. So that is called as shielding. So that concept I just want to tell you. So here every circuit parameters you have to screen it. Okay, you have to put and you have to keep it away from your surroundings. So that is called as shielding. So all these components you merge keep between the metallic surface and you stand here, then your body capacitance will not enter. So that is what I wanted to say you. Okay, so just supply voltage 5 kilovolt or 10 kilovolt, then screening HV lead becomes essential, means this screening what I told you. So that is also safety precautions. Artificial earth, yeah, I told earth has to be there. So that safety precautions I have given you 1 point, so that you can write down in safety precautions purpose of the spear gap and screening. So what will be procedure? Connect the single phase supply to the control panel. So connect HT terminal lead of transformer to test specimen, that specimen ground to control panel, ground and mother ground. So you know that this bridge will be just called as one device, separate bridge will be there. And our transformer and auto transformer set will be different. So you can call it as control panel, and then just vary the dimmer stat, apply suppose 8 kilovolt, 10 kilovolt or 5 kilovolt supply. Start varying the components of the bridges until you will get null detections. And when you will get null detections, you just measure the other components. So don't go through these details. Actually, we are not performing this experiment. You can just write down in simple way. So what is the simple way? Make the connections as shown in the diagram. Then just vary the variac, adjust secondary voltage of the transformer. Then just go on varying the parameters C3 and R3. Then until null detection is observed. And when null detection is observed, read the components value from the bridge and just you put in the formulas and then get the answer. So that way it is very simple. So just this is B procedure I have kept, which is in very detail. So don't go through that procedure. Okay. So value of C4 you will write down at null deflection. So when you will get zero deflection on your detector, what was the value of C3 and R3 and C4? So you just put and then you can find out the resistance of your capacitance. So R3 is equal R3 into C4 upon C3. Find out C2 using this, and tan delta will be omega C1R. Now mind you, all these formulae will depend upon your bridge. So you should not remember this formulae in your brain as it is, because if C1 will change, it may come C2, C4 like that. So which bridge you are using, instead of that, you just remember in a fashion. That is the hint I want to give. And if you will keep that hint in your brain, you can able to solve any problem. So you should not remember formula in terms of C1, C2, C3, because these components will change depending upon your description of the problem. So how you have to remember? You have to remember, if my unknown capacitance is in this branch, then which components are taken in the numerator, in front of these are in numerator, or side by components are in numerator, which component is denominator, this component is in denominator, or opposite components are in denominator. That way you remember formula, then you can solve it any problem. So that hint I want to give you. So remember in this, whether it is nearby arm or it is in front of arm, or this is its own arm, because C1 you are finding tan delta means its own resistance, and omega C4 R4. So if you are finding tan delta of first arm related to C1, this is tan delta, so it is in front of branch C4 R4. But in some example it may come C3 R4. Okay, so instead of remembering this C4 R4, you remember tan delta will be in front of opposite branch resistance and capacitance omega. That way you remember, and you can find out tan delta, you can find out loss resistance, you can find out capacitance also. So these are the sample constant values are there, which you can remember. For example, then if you will write down numerical values, you know you can get the scoring also. So that sample values I have given. So this completes our shearing bridge. Okay, so here we have completed part of unit. 2B. So in 2B we have seen number of this testings we have seen. You just see our Google Classroom. In Google Classroom I have uploaded notes of this. Try to complete all these 4 experiments. Okay, procedures and all the points. Tomorrow we'll discuss ionization process. You don't miss that lecture. Now any doubt you want to ask me, you can ask. Yes. Ask the doubts. Students, are you there? Sarvesh?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Oh,
Yes,
Javed,
ma'am.
Javed, you asked the doubt. Yes, Javed.